Hello, everybody. Hello and welcome. Happy Thursday to each and every one of you who are here. Oops, sorry for the noise there. Right, just waiting for others to join us, and we shall get started. Please like and share as you come in. Um, if you can hear me, please let me know in the comment section. And this is going to be a quick live stream as well because I've got a cold and I don't want to do this continue. I don't want to do this for a long time while I'm coughing and sneezing. Please like and share as you come in, and let me know if you can hear me as well. I've wanted to do this show for a very long time. I was actually I should have done this about a few weeks ago actually, but the person in question, which was a video that prompted me to do this live stream, I was seeking her permission to obviously to talk about our experience or our ordeal. But obviously she was like, oh, according to the response she replied to me, she was like, oh, I should give her some time. And obviously she's sharing her stories on TikTok. Okay, she's been sharing her story on TikTok, and I was like, well, okay, I've waited, so I'm just gonna go ahead and and just discuss it because it's part of what I discuss here on my channel. Obviously anything that is relating to DV, anything that is related to obviously as a woman, you not being treated the right way by your partner. And obviously, DV does not really relate only to women alone, it also relates to men as well. And in most cases, it's the women that actually come out to talk about their experiences. And it's advisable that men come out to talk about their experiences of DV as well. I'm not going to put my hand on my chest and say, oh, men do not suffer from abuse. No, men, elderberry sugar, welcome. Men do experiences DV as well, but I don't understand why. I don't understand why they don't come out to talk about it. And for me, I've never experienced DV in my marriage, and it has never happened, and it's never going to happen. And if I see a sign of that, more, I'm not going to joke about it, and I'm not going to lie about it, okay? But I experienced DV as a child, okay? I experienced my dad, obviously, between my parents, I experienced my dad being, violent, and it's not left a good memory in me at all as a child. Even as an adult, yeah, I've shared several times here how that has impacted my adult life, how that has even impacted my own relationship in a way, because it's crazy, okay? It's crazy. Anyway, there's a video I actually want us to watch first, but I'm trying to share it here. It's not allowing me. But there's a guy I've been watching on I think it's on TikTok and it's also on Instagram. Let me see if I can share my screen. So guys, I'm trying this for the first time. If it goes AWOL, I'm just gonna come back in. But it's a guy who was actually talking about men who always feel that because they brought their wife to diaspora, because they brought their wife to Europe, that they automatically owns that woman, that they automatically have access to everything that concerns her. So, and yes, we've seen the likes of that the phrase who will say, oh, don't bring your wife abroad, oh. And we've seen other videos of men who say, oh, I brought my wife abroad and then she left me. So this video I'm about to share with you, about which this guy spoke about, is actually of men who will come out and say, oh, I brought her abroad and she left me. What did you do? What led to the instance where she had to leave you? Because if these women whose men are coming out to say their women left them, if they actually come out, only if the society, if only the people who are listening to you will actually give that particular woman the chance to actually express what she went through in the hands of such man who comes out to say, oh, I brought her abroad, I brought her to Europe and she left me. So let me see if I'm able to share this screen of this with you guys of this video. Okay, let me see if I can share it. Hello Vivian V, welcome. So I don't know if you're able to see it, but I'm just going to play the video right now. So I'm trying to play this video, but it doesn't seem to be agreeing with me. Okay, so it's not actually agreeing with me. It's not actually agreeing with me. Let me see if I can bring the video in, or maybe I might just play the audio for you guys. Okay, let me see. I'll try one more time. So it's not allowing me. So let me see if I can play that video from my phone here, because I have it on my Dropbox actually. Vivian V, welcome. How are you? Um, okay, I'm trying to find the video just now. Please like as you're here. Like the live stream as you're here. I don't know why my video is not allowing me to play this video. It's not allowing me, but let me go on to my TikTok. I mean my Dropbox and see if I can find it. Okay, so guys, this is the video of the guy who was sharing. So this guy actually talks about all the shenanigans of diaspora men. His name is Odik somewhere something. He practically talks about the shenanigans that men do in diaspora, especially African men. So let me play it for you guys, okay? Any woman come abroad, she leave me. Mugu, you listen to yourself. The reason where woman take leave you because of saying you can't come abroad. We don't fire you there. Tell us what you do that woman. Exactly. Tell us how many times you shit on that woman. Exactly. Tell us how many times you beat that woman. Exactly. Tell us how many times you abuse that woman. Exactly. Some of them think say because of say when I bring woman come abroad. If they look on a shit, anything when I want to make on a drum, just because of say bring her come abroad. Exactly. Because of say bring and come abroad, make the shit on them, they bring this special stay. Make the beat and make she stay. Tell us what you do that woman. Exactly. And by the way, tell us as you take enter that country. Exactly. Tell us who give you document to take to that country. The person will give you that document. That person don't come online, talk saying that because of saying bring you run. Tell us. They can have something to disturb us for social media. Treat your woman right because he gets men there will bring woman come abroad. They're living fine. Absolutely. He get men will bring women come from Nigeria, enter abroad. They're moving mountains. They make money together. Absolutely. Everything I come around, she lives. So this guy's name on Instagram is Odogu Kiwi. That's his name on Instagram. So he practically talks about how African men treat their wife in diaspora. And you guys just heard him there that, okay, you brought the woman abroad. So yes, we've seen the likes of a handful of men actually on some shows where they're like, oh, I brought her abroad and then she left me. So what did you do to her? What led to her leaving you? Were you treating her right? Were you treating her well? Were you one of those men who say, because I brought you abroad, you are going to be the one in the house who's going to be working and I'm going to sit my fat ass at home and do nothing? Are you the kind of man who will bring your wife abroad? She's the one who is actually doing everything that you should be doing. She's the one who's actually doing, and you are home saying that you are providing some sort of support for the children. Like, if you were to be back home in Nigeria, would you be sitting your ass at home not providing for your family, and you expect your wife to be out there, doing all of those things? You won't do that. So what makes you think that it's all right that you bring your wife abroad and you leave everything to her to do, financially, emotionally, everything that a man should do to make you qualify, to solidify your eligibility as a correct Odogu? You leave all of that to the woman. And then when such women now realize that, oh, come, I know if you die for this abroad now, why be saying that only me they do that is when such men will now say, oh, people are actually teaching her to behave towards me. People are telling you what to do. You were not like this before we left Nigeria, or you were not like this before I brought you abroad. Why are you like this? And you see in cases like that, when that man is meant to actually sit down, listen, and not excuse the feelings or the opinion of the woman, that is when the man will start going helter-skelter. Oh, she left me because she's now listening to other women, or she's listening to allegedly single mothers out there who are telling her what to do. That is when such men will start saying, oh, they are teaching you how to behave towards me out there. No, nobody is teaching her, because at the end of the day, it's hard going to work as a woman, working full time. You have children, you come back home and you still cook. It's hard. And I don't understand the kind of men who will subject their women to such just because you brought them abroad. So which is going to lead me to the story of this lady here. So our video, I'm not going to play a video with the audio, okay? This is a story of a lady here the video is quite blurry, but I'm going to try and maybe go to her page and see if I can read the story. Okay, so she came. She obviously she schooled in Nigeria, and she got married. Actually, she met the man who married her in Nigeria. They've been dating. They got married, and right from so this video, I am not about to blame the woman, but then I would say there were signs for her to know that this man, the things he was putting you through in Nigeria, it would continue doing so. You can't change a man. You can't change a man. So if you're in the dating stage and this man is giving you woto, is giving you bass, what makes you think that by the time you get married to him, it will stop that? It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. So this lady's page is, and let me put her page onto the comment section. Our page is called Blessed Sylvia. Her page is called Blessed Sylvia on TikTok, and I think she's starting a journey again on YouTube on Facebook. So I came across a video a few months back where she shared the story of how her husband obviously brought her. I think she's based in Belgium, and our husband brought her abroad. And upon bringing her abroad, she was super excited. You know, she finished her NYSC and she was looking forward to joining her husband because he already married her in Nigeria. And then he traveled abroad only for a day for her to come and join him. Okay, which was what he did. And obviously, like I said, this lady, the man has been giving her woto. Like the man has been showing her shege banza before he even brought her to Nigeria, before he even brought her abroad. You know, he has been giving her all sort of. He has been treating her. He has been treating her bad. You know, giving her water in Nigeria before he even brought her abroad. So this woman, she was super happy when the man said, "Oh, come join me abroad." And she came abroad, and according to her story, she was super excited. When she came, she was at the stage that, oh, when I meet my husband, I want to have a baby, and God made that happen for her. You know, within a few months of her joining her husband, she fell pregnant, and upon getting pregnant, this man showed her shege. So this man asked her to go and get a job, and getting a job, he asked her to subject 1,000 euros from her monthly salary. I hope you guys are listening. So I'm going to read the story from my screen here on my phone because it's really not showing the real story. So this is part of the beginning of our story here that I saw that I really want to show. I'm not going to play all of our videos here. So according to her, first came marriage in 2018, and I was more than excited because I loved X. So she's not giving us the name of the man, but she claimed that she loved the man, and she loved the man with everything in her. Okay. And then what happened afterwards? Then came relocation. That was so fast. So then came relocation in November. In fact, on her birthday, November 13, 2020, just after I finished my NYSC in October 2020 to join my supposed Mr. Right. And I was super excited thinking I have arrived. Okay, who won't be excited? I arrived with my ovulation, and God showed me mercy by blessing my womb with a seed after staying in Nigeria for 2 good years with mother-in-law without Mr. X. And also this lady's story, our mother-in-law was a contributing factor to how this man treated her. Okay, women, when we are raising our sons, we need to be raising them to know that you can't treat a woman wrong. Okay, maybe that was what your own father did to your mother, but just because your father did that to your mother does not make it right. Okay, so and she said here that I was more than excited because it was a major reason I always visited Blessed Sacrament just so God can bless my womb. Immediately I joined Mr. X, but then she's in for a shock. Okay, so everything was going fine until devil started using Mr. X and DV started. Meanwhile, if you go onto her page, go to the very beginning of her page, she shared the story of how this man has been violent towards her while they were in Nigeria, even while they were dating. You know, he's been using belt to give her correct to like giving her correct beating while in Nigeria. And still, she did not think that this man is not the man for her. Still, she did not think that, oh, don't go ahead with this marriage. She still went ahead to marry him. Like I said, I'm not putting blame because at the end of the day, she went into this marriage, she's learned a lesson, and you know, she's come out of it. And I'm super happy that she was alive and you know she came out of it. So And Mr. X and DV started when even while I was pregnant. It was a traumatizing period for me, and I ended up having my baby with CS after 41 weeks. Not what I wanted, but hey, I was happy, and my child was healthy even after all he went through while in me. I called him the strong baby I have even seen some because he went through a hole with me and still choose to stay in while being miscarried. Well, she almost miscarried her pregnancy. That's what she's trying to say there. I thought the coming of our son would restore peace into my marriage. That is at the point of breakup. You know what? I've seen some women whose marriage is on the loose and they go on to have more babies. Yeah, the baby, the new baby or the pregnancy might bring both of you back together for a short period. But come, babies grow. Okay, babies grow. I'll give you 6 months. Once that baby turns 6 months, the man will go back to his ways. He will go back to his ways. Please like this live stream as you're here. The man will go back to his ways. Babies do not solidify marriage. Just like if na kerewa you sabi, if you like do kerewa 20 times in a day, if you do that with him, it will not solidify a marriage that is is on the break, except both of you come together to actually talk about what's actually happening in that marriage, and then both of you can reach a resolution. But if both of you are not actually talking and sitting down through that, you think that every time in a fight, now go enter bedroom, go do kerewa. Kerewa is just going to temporarily solve the issue at hand, but it's not actually solving it permanently. It's not solving it permanently. So with her, obviously, she was a young wife, being away from her husband. She was super happy to join him. And then she fell pregnant with the hope that, oh, yes, I'm pregnant. Okay, hopefully this man will change. This man will soften up with me. But no, the man became the devil incarnate, you know. So that's her saying that, I know, even when the son came, she thought that, you know what, the man would be much calmer and softer with that. But no, that did not happen. That did not happen. So she said that it continued, and I was pushed out to work to support at 9 months, even after complaining of not being healed completely. So 9 months after she had a baby, the man asked her to go and start working. Obviously, she had a baby via cesarean section. I would have thought that she would still need a lot of time because I'm one of those lucky ones. I had all of my babies naturally. I did not have to go through cesarean checks or anything like that. Even that alone, I still get occasional back pain. Not to talk of somebody who had to go through cesarean section. Vivian V said, what am I hearing? If he was brushing hair while the baby was at a higher risk in her womb, is it when she has the baby that exactly? You know, I read a story and I was like, oh, baby girl, you should have, you shouldn't have gone into that marriage with this guy because he has been doing that to her while they were in Nigeria. And like I said, his mother was a contributing factor to this man's attitude because there were times when she would report the incident, the mother or the mother-in-law would ask her to sit down there that, oh, you are a virtuous woman, stay with this man, go back to your husband's house, you know. In a way, I would say Mr. X is a narcissist because this girl's story, it just dominated her life. It dominated her life entirely. So she said there that even when I complained that I had to go so after complaining of not being healed completely, but I had to go work in a factory and stood for 8 hours, and the end of the month I have to remit 1,000 euros to Mr. X. I certainly have no problem with that. You can imagine, okay? You can imagine your husband asking you to pay 1,000 euros from your salary from a new woman who has just newly had a baby. For her, she had no problem with that. Me, I would have a problem with that. Why should I give you a penny? Well, if he's providing, okay, if he is providing, and I think maybe he is short, maybe in a month he's struggling, I would volunteer. But if you are telling me to bring half of my paycheck to give to you, I'm sorry, you're not going to get a penny from me. You are not going to get a penny from me. Okay? So for her, hello, Abby, welcome. How are you? She says she does not have a problem with giving him 1,000 euros from her salary. This is a woman who's only just. I missed you too, Abby. I was actually thinking of you today because I came home from work early today. I've got a flu. My head is banging, but because I've scheduled this live stream since yesterday or 2 days ago, I just had to do it. Okay, so I trust that I will do it. I'm still sniffing and of that. So she says she did not have a problem with it, but then this man took over her life entirely. Okay. So she did not have a problem with giving him 1,000 euros every month. It continued for 3 months until after our son's first birthday, which I spent a whole lot. And he was asking for the fourth 1,000 euros, which I told him I had not. And I was asked to pick my son and leave the house inside winter at night because I refused to give him the fourth 1,000 euros, else it was STAB me and go to jail. Did you guys hear that? So their son clocked a year. From that story, she was one who did all of it. You know, women, when our first baby's turn a year, we want to go all out there. Even in diaspora, I mean that I'm sitting down here, I have not had to celebrate any of my children's birthday. I have not had to celebrate any of, like, maybe a whole party. I have not had to do it. I have not had to, because I would rather put that money into something better for them than throw a party that people just come and eat and they will buy you some sort of gift that is not going to be useful for them. Okay. If you have the money, you can do it. Okay. But for me, I just don't believe in it. So she obviously, the first 3 months when she started working, she was giving him 1,000 euros every month. And then by the fourth month, she was like, I don't have that 1,000 euros, because obviously she had their son just turned a year old. She spent money and all of that. And what did Mr. X told her? Her husband told her that if you don't give me that 1,000 euros, I will, SCAB you and go to jail. Can you imagine? Exactly, Abby. Except you have lots of money, it's not necessary. For me, I didn't do it. Vivian said, Abby, welcome. I'm working and listen. I'm already pissed off, so better not to again. All right, Vivian V. So the man said if she does not give him that money, that it's going to unalive her, and he was ready to go to jail. Can you imagine? In this story of this lady that I noticed, it seems she's the one who loves the man the more. And now, at this my age now, they are now telling us that a woman should marry a man who loves them more. That is, you women, don't be catching feelings more than the man you are about to marry. That is what they are now telling us now. And I hope the Gen Zs are listening. I hope the Gen Z residents in this house are listening. All the men now, those motivational talkers, those podcasters are saying, do not love the man you're about to marry more than he loves you. So that's what they are telling us. So let's continue with this. Let's continue with this story. Then I left because the violence has gotten to level 100. I made the point of carrying a knife and then began my mystery, sorrow, pain, agony, tribulations, trials, challenges. Just 1 year and 10 months in a foreign land where I knew no Adam or Eve, but know what? God showed up mightily. So I think I don't want to waste too much, but I think I've got a brief story of this lady. Okay, so I think that's that part of that story there. She actually shared her real story again. I really want to get to the bottom of this story. Okay, it's pretty much the man taking over her life. Okay, it's just a story of this man. So what this man actually treated her to was that when he brought her abroad, he warned her that she can never speak to anybody. She went on to explain that anytime they go out, he has warned her never to speak to anybody. You can't give your number to anybody you meet. That anywhere she goes to, if she meets anybody, this man would give that person they met his own number, even though it's her own number that they asked for. So it goes to a say whereby this man will panel beat this woman. And according to her story, she said he introduced him to a certain family. Maybe that was the family that helped him settle when he just arrived as well. I think she's based in Belgium. And he said that it's only those people that he introduced her to. But then there's been multiple times this man will panel beat her. Panel beat her that he panel beated her one day that she had to run to these family people that he introduced her to, because like she said, she's a newbie. She did not know anybody in the abroad. She could not communicate with anybody because this man practically made her a loner. This man made her a loner. So he panel beated her to an extent that she was bleeding everywhere. I really didn't want to. I didn't bring those videos here because I don't want YouTube to flag this video, or I don't want YouTube not to YouTube might say they were not going to monetize the video. He panel beated her, bleeding everywhere. I think she broke a tooth or something. It was too much, so she was able to escape and run to these family people that he introduced her to. So when those people saw her, they were like, why didn't you call the police? And her response was, I love him. He is my husband. Like I said, marriage should not be something you are enduring. Marriage should not be something that the man will panel beat you like his worst enemy. Because at the end of the day, he can't go out there to go do such to a man. So why does he think that he could do that to you? And why does the woman think that he's allowed to do that? For me, you do that, now Lokpa will come and settle the case. Now Lokpa will come and settle the case. So he panel beated this woman to an extent that she was able to run out of the house to go meet this family he introduced her to. Like I said, she's a loner. She did not know anybody. She was not allowed to make friends. There was nothing she would do. Anything she tries to do, this man is always a part of it. If she tries to do anything on her own, this man will show her shiggy. He was practically using belts, belts. He used that on her all the time. It got to a stage she can't sleep on the bed with him. She can't sit on the sofa with him. If she's watching a Nollywood movie, maybe a movie where they were talking about men, manhandling women, it would descend on her again. Can you imagine? Maybe she's just sitting and watching a movie where they are talking about a man cheating or something. The man will pan a bit her and change the channel. That was practically the kind of life that this man subjected this woman to. Vivian said a lot of Nigerians in the UK just have cut off a lot of male friends for this reason. They are constantly blaming our women whilst holding other country women in ISM. Exactly. I was watching a few shows on TikTok and I was so infuriated the way some men are talking, because they were still talking about that lady who recorded her husband for not telling her about the girl. They were still bashing her, even though there's a video now. The man has said that they should not blame my wife, that she's a better person, that they should not use that video to judge her. I was actually listening to a couple of shows and I was so mad. I'm like, no, I'm not going to join this. I'm not going to request to join their last, because if I go there, I will just abuse all of them. Vivian V said, even Southern African women, Kenyans and Oyibos cursing our Nigerian women, saying our men talks horribly of us. Ladies like this brave woman decide to walk away, and the Nigerian men association. Yeah, so they were dragging her. People were like, oh, all these things that you've talked about your man now. What did you do to him? And I was like, did you not see the story she started from, how the man has been behaving towards her from before they left Nigeria? And that's why the only blame, hello, Holy Mary, how are you? Long time. Exactly, that's what narcissists do. It wouldn't allow her make friends. Anywhere she goes, maybe they are invited to occasions and they maybe people, obviously she makes hair as well. She knows how to make hair. People ask for her number so she could come make their hair. This man will give them their own number. This man will give those who want to come and make hair his own number so that they will contact him. He does not want us to have any direct contact with outside us. He practically, took over, dominated her life. So that fateful day, she was able to escape to this family's house because they were the only ones she knew. And they were like, why didn't you call the police? And our response was that, oh, I love him. He's my husband. And those people asked to summon the man to come over. So obviously, you know how men goes about making you, the woman who is talking about the things you're putting them through, making the woman look as if she's the man who is crazy. But when people who actually knows the man, who knows him for who he really is, they'll be like, no, you the man, you are the problem here. The woman is talking out does not make her the mad one. But your behavior towards this woman, obviously, when the man comes around, this family already knows the kind of man this man is. So when he came around, it was sober, it was begging. And they practically tell him that, come, if you ever put your woman through this again, if you ever subject her through this again, they will be the one to call the police. They practically said that to him, that if you ever put your woman through this again, they will be the one to call the police. So they left. The woman went back. So this is one of our story here where she was sharing that, the police arrived. Obviously, it's quite small. I can't read. I need to go to your position actually for my glasses. So as if that was the end of it, it was not quite long again. This man did the same thing again after she's already had her son. She already had a son. So there's to say that night I backed myself crying ferociously and I called the police because my life and that of my 1-year-old son was in danger. Mind you, I've never. So this was when she summoned the courage to call the police. Let me see if I can read that from the beginning. It's quite small. The writing is quite small. So this is when she was able to, summon the courage to leave. Let me read the story from her page. So she said here that the police, so that night I backed my son, crying furiously, and I called the police because my life and that of my 1-year-old son was in danger. Mind you, I have never for 1 second called police on Mr. X ever since it all started. Even moments I get basbos, he gets angry and even refuses to eat. You can imagine, he will give her woto. She will still be the one begging and he will still refuse to eat the food. Me, I don't have such patience. I'm sorry. I do not have such patience. You put your hands, I will still come and beg you to eat my food. No. So I will still, he gets angry and even refuse to eat. Poor submissive wife like me will still beg him to eat. Now me them wrong go, now me them beat, now me go see beg him so peace can reign. And she continued saying that the police arrived. Listen to the voice note. Obviously, this time around, she was smart enough to put to switch on the voice recorder to record everything that he was saying on how he was threatening her. So she said the police arrived. Listen to the voice note because it got to a point I had to record all he was saying because Mr. X lies a lot like a child. And also because I know it will deny not threatening us to leave. They asked if I've got a place to stay. So the next day you can go to the organization in charge of Save Women's Home. I remember this family, the family he introduced her to, who the day I arrived, Mr. X took me to them and introduced me, and they told me they are family. And sometimes in June, the day he gives me woto woto, mercilessly, and asked me to leave his house with my bleeding nose and my son, who was 10 months then, I had to run to this family to report Mr. X so they can call him to order. I got there. A lot of humans were in their house that fateful day. Excuse me. They saw me and asked why I didn't call the police. I told them he's my husband and my son's father, and I loved him. What if he has spied you? Obviously, I know the consequences if the police should see me with a bleeding nose and with a child. It was all because of love. No, love is not him putting his hands on you. Love is not him wanting to unalive you just because you refuse to give him €1,000 from your salary every month. All because he brought you abroad. So it continues. Then they reached out to him and he came and tabled lies as usual. But the man and wife, God bless them again, told him not to raise his hands ever on me. But did he listen? No. A born narcissist. She knew he was dealing with it. She was dealing with a narcissist. And I don't understand why she went on to marry that man. So the police drove me there. They opened their door for me and my child. From that day ends, I took the most difficult decision of my life. It was difficult because I knew the home I was coming from. A very peaceful home. My parents still in marriage, and as a first daughter, I have two younger siblings looking up to me. I had feared what society would say. As to say the society stigmatized single mothers. Yes, it's true. She's not lying. Well, it is what it is. I'd rather live than stay where Mr. X and his family, except his niece that lives in Abuja. Oh my God, that woman is such a good woman. She clearly stood her ground to tell him his fault to his face. But what did she get? Mr. X blocked her. So she left that marriage. And she has been sharing her story so far. I think it was when she was seeking help. Even Mr. X threatened her that I'm going to withdraw your visa, blah, 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 blah. But she was lucky. God gave her another family who adopted her, who were able to help her start a new life. So she's living fine now. She's living fine now. So this story of I brought you abroad. So because you brought her abroad, she should not become your slave. She should not become the odogu where you the man. You are always like, I am the man. I am the man. What makes you a man? What makes you a man is not what is between your legs. It takes much more than what is between your legs that makes you a man. And I've been watching a lot of, a lot of videos nowadays. In fact, there's another video I saw. Let me quickly share it with you guys. And then I will drop the link for whoever wants to comment and say one or two things. It's about men who are saying that no man will even look at their wife because they have made sure that no man had the guts to even look at their wife because whatever it is that you love, you protect it. You protect it. Let me see. I can't find that video now. I thought I downloaded it. You know what? Let me drop the link for whoever wants to come in here. Let me drop the link. So we're practically talking about the fact that men will say they brought you abroad, and some will come and cry, oh, I brought her abroad and she left me. What did you do? What did you do for her to leave you? What did you do? I'm trying to find that video, but the link is in the comment section, guys. If you want to jump in, there's a video. There's a video of a guy I saw, and it speaks exactly what I was expecting it to speak. It was exactly what I was expecting it to speak about men who obviously they don't obviously do what they're supposed to do, and then when the woman starts misbehaving, they will not say, "Oh, it's your single mother friends that are teaching you." No, the single mother friends are not teaching you. I can't find that video now. But guys, come in and chip one or two things in the comment. If the link is in the comment section, okay. Let me see if I can find it in my photos. I can't find it in my photo. I don't know what I've done to that video. Or what I've done with the video. I don't know what I've done with it. This man was actually spitting facts. And I was like, wow, this is the kind of people I want to be listening to. I must have deleted that video. I don't know what I've done with it. But yeah, it was practically talking about the fact that, come, if you're a man, if you don't want people to look at your man. Yeah, so man of prestige, I've got cold though. I have to come home from work today. Yesterday was a struggle for me at work. But I thought, oh, let me just do but 12-hour shift. With this, I almost lost my voice, but yeah, I've got a cold. Pardon me. I hope you guys can still hear me. But like I've been saying here, okay, my husband also brought me to Diaspora. And yes, I've given him Wotu as well. Now, no, these are because you brought me here. These are not, no, it's not going to happen. So Vivian V said serious anger issues with a lot of these knack men, very faulty foundation. They then grow up and then become monsters but cry victim when women say enough. Well, anyway, you've got a cold. Yes, I have. So because you brought the woman abroad, yes, you love her that much, you brought her to the abroad. Great. Then she went on to have your baby for you, and then you took over her life. So she can't have friends, she can't speak to anybody. Yes, he introduced her to one family. And he was practically telling her that no, you can't speak to anybody, you can't give your number to anybody. So she's your wife. I know you're trying to protect her, but protecting her that she can't go out on her own. And then if she does something slight to you, the next thing you're doing is putting your hands on her. Put your hands on me. Olokpa will settle the case. Put your hands on me. I will give you woto. And if my woto is not enough, Olokpa will settle the case. And I've always said this, putting your hands on somebody you love. How did you get there? How did you get there? And yes, I've seen lots of podcasts, just like I said in the beginning of this video. They will say, oh, I brought her abroad, she left me. The woman will leave you if she's going out to work and you're sitting your fat ass at home doing nothing. And I've seen some Oluwole London men, Peckham men. But maybe you are getting benefit for the children. Did you hear yourself talk? Benefit is for the children. How many parents here in diaspora are able to afford everything they actually give to their children? Because they know it's a system that has been put in place, and it's to help you as a parent cover some areas you might not, be able to afford at some times. Yeah, children want to go for football games. Children want to go for music lessons. These are extra curriculum activities that even no matter how much you earn, all of these monthly payments, when you start to pay them, it will have a toll on you. So if the government is now giving you an extra money, and then the man is now capitalizing on the man, and you are getting benefit for the children. The benefit is not for the woman to pay rent for you. The benefit is not for the woman to pay for car finance. The benefit is not for you as a man to go and be doing Wakakurukere, Lagos, Nigeria tomorrow and tomorrow. It's for the children. So you, the man, you're not sitting your ass back at home, and the woman is the one going back and forth working because you brought her abroad. Like, excuse me? If it was that easy, why don't you go and work as well? Why don't you go and work as well? So this man practically took over the life of this woman, giving her woto, gbas, even while she was pregnant, asking her to contribute 1,000 euros every month. A 9-month pregnant woman. Welcome, man of praise. It's good to have you here.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Welcome.
Hold on 1 second. Hey, how you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Very good, very good. Very
You've
good.
come here to come and tackle me.
No, you're doing well. You're doing well. Actually, I came in late, but I have an idea of what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it was a story of a young lady. I came across her page a few months ago. So she was excited. She joined her husband in Belgium. And since then, man has been giving her woto before she left Nigeria. Like, woto. She still went ahead to marry him. And then 2 years later, after NYC, she came to join him. And then man gave her terms and conditions. You can't speak to anybody. He only introduced her to just one family. She makes hair. And anytime people ask for her contact number, the man is giving those people his own contact number because he doesn't want any outside influence with her. So he practically took over her life. Welcome, Uncle Patrick. Welcome. So he practically took over her life, which me, you Jebu get that I am. I will not agree. So he took over her life. She couldn't go anywhere. Not long after she came in, she got pregnant, and this man would give her woto. Correct woto. So 9 months into her pregnancy, he asked her to go get a job, which she
Hmm.
did. And man was asking her to remit 1,000 euros every month from her salary, which she said she did not have an issue doing. So she first month she got a job, she remitted 1,000 euro. The second month, the third month. So it was the fourth month. She said, "No, I'm not gonna give to you because their son turned a year old." She had to
Hmm.
do everything, baby birthday and all of that. And at some point, she said that the man was not really contributing as much. So because she refused to give him anything out of her paycheck, fourth month paycheck, man gave her correct woto woto.
When you say
And there's
woto woto, you're talking about physical.
beating. Yes,
Wow.
the page, I think I dropped the page of the girl in the comment section. There were pictures, I didn't want to bring them here. Bleeding face, busted lips. Like, he sent her out in the cold several times. I think the one he did was just before she had a baby, and she has to run to a family member he introduced her to. I mean, not a family member, the people he met as family. And these people
Hmm.
were like, why didn't you call the police? And she was like, oh, my husband, I love him. So they
Hmm.
summoned him. He told lies as normal, and they said, don't ever do that again. So apparently, he would not allow her sleep on the bed. She's not allowed to sit on the sofa. Anytime she's watching Nollywood movie where they are maybe discuss maybe a movie where they are talking about men cheating or something, or guy will collect remotes, give her woto, change to CNN. So she did not have her own life. It was practically about this, and she got fearful that at some point the man threatened when she refused to give him more money, saying, "I will buy you and I will go to jail." That was what the
Hmm.
man said to her. So she started recording anytime he threatens her. That was how she was able to get the police involved when he gave her another woto woto. And this man's mother is a contributing factor as well, because each time she reports to say, "Oh, mama, this thing is going on. Oh, I've been peaceful." Oh, the woman will tell her, "Oh, he's your husband. You be a virtue, be a very virtuous
Hmm.
man and stay." So now this woman has walked out of that marriage, and she's been sharing her story, and people keep bashing her. Oh, single mother came, single mother, single mother. So why I'm here is that you brought her abroad,
Wait,
and
wait,
you are
wait. So she's sharing her story. They're calling her a single mother.
yeah. That what is all this story now that you're saying? If the man come and say his own now, will you?
Right.
Obviously they're blaming her that she's practically the fault why the man was doing all of that to her. Yeah.
People. So the first thing, the problem with social media is that the first thing that people think about is fault. Like whose fault is what?
Mm-hmm.
There's only so much lie you can consistently tell if somebody
Tell.
said they have been controlling from the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they are
Yeah.
continuing to be controlled. All those things, everything you just told me right now. Some people say, why don't you listen to the other side of the story? I don't need the other side of the
I
story.
don't need the other side
There's
exactly.
consistency here. There's a
Yeah.
consistent. So if she's outrightly lying, at least one person will some know this girl, like she made up like a full blown
Mm-hmm.
Nollywood movie, you
Yeah.
know.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean she's innocent too. But as we've been talking about for a few days, the last thing you want to do is get physical or touch anybody.
Absolutely.
I don't care if it's your child. Right now, we're getting to a space where we tell you don't touch your child. Like no,
Without being said,
like
let me cut you short. I smacked my son, my 15-year-old son. He went to school and told the school. Social worker
yes,
chased me
now
for 5 days. They said I was not safe with my other
right,
children.
rightfully so because I've
It was
because
just about on the shoulder. We just won.
hey, gbogbo alágbàbàrà èmi náà gbàbàrà ya. But we it's 2025.
Yeah.
You have to have better strategies. Just like at your job where they give you paycheck every Friday, they have
Yeah.
better strategies than it was in 1960. So when it
Yeah.
comes to parenting, you shouldn't expect anything less.
Yes, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
because I was raised that way too, I'm
Does not
naturally
mean
prone to want to raise my hands whenever I'm upset with my child. I have children too, right? But you have to check yourself. And the way I check myself, I tell the story all the time. I have a beautiful white wall in front of me right here. My
yeah.
son, he's now 16, going on 17.
Mm-hmm.
He saw a very plain wall. It's beautiful, it's nice, it's a nice canvas for
Yeah.
him to write on. And he started writing on it. And as soon as I saw it, I was pissed off. I was pissed off. So the first thing that comes to me is what I learned, which is to
Yeah.
beat him.
Mm-hmm.
So I caught myself in that moment. Am I beating him because I actually want to correct, or
Correct.
because I'm upset, I'm angry?
Mm.
One of those reasons have to win. It's because I was
Yeah.
upset. So if you're
Yeah.
upset, what can you do? You can create irreversible damages,
Absolutely. Yeah.
both
Yeah.
mentally. So how much more somebody's wife? How much more an adult
Mm.
And then this idea that you imported somebody, so somehow you own them for the rest
Exactly.
of their life.
Exactly.
This is why I said
Exactly.
common. I said common sense is common sense. Common. Stop using common sense. It's a terrible guide to life because these people will claim to have common sense. The people
Yeah.
that were questioning whose fault it was on social media will also claim to have. So we also claim to have common sense.
Absolutely.
So we
Absolutely.
need a little bit more than common sense. Good, you
Mm.
have common sense. All of our common. You need more than common sense. Sometimes you need to sit with yourself and reflect. What
Yes.
I'm doing right now, what is the long term consequence,
Yeah.
benefit of
Hmm.
it? Because short term,
Absolutely.
it's very clear what the short term benefit is. I will
Yeah.
relieve myself of my upset. I am super upset with the person, so I raise my hands and beat them to feel better in that moment. That's
Mm.
short term. By the way,
Yeah.
that's a terrible short term benefit, but hey,
Absolutely.
if you
I agree with
think
you.
deep, that's all you're getting.
Mm.
Long term, are you actually correcting a person?
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah. No.
so we're seeing more and more of this story, and it's starting as it's an epidemic.
Yeah.
If you import somebody, shout out to you, congratulations to you. What was in it for you? Why did you bring them abroad? Why?
Exactly.
What was the benefit you were getting from bringing? Because you were not just being Jesus. You brought them
Mm.
abroad for a reason. You were benefiting something. Maybe you found a wife, a beautiful thing. Maybe you found a husband. Okay, good. Now you need to understand that beyond that, there are going to be moments that you upset each other.
Yes.
So now they're indebted to you for life. They cannot express that I'm upset. I feel some type of way. They can't express themselves because you brought them abroad. Why would you feel safe with that kind of person if they can't express themselves? They
Exactly.
can destroy you overnight. They will get rid of you. It's only a
Hmm.
matter of time because they'll be bottling stuff up, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that will lead to resentment, and then they will do something, and you'll be like, what did I do? Like, hmm.
With
Hmm.
everything I've done for, did you say you were imported too? You said you were
I
imported too,
was
eh?
so man of prejudice.
And
Like,
before, who wasn't imported?
if I tell you, at some point it was like music to my ears, and I'll just look like this. Obviously now I'm more outspoken now. Before I was like, eh,
Right. You weren't trying to offend the person that you already have that guilt inside. So
yeah.
imagine you're now all the
Now,
resentment.
now it brings like this. I return it to. Brings I return like Mba, I beg 5 children. I don't pay you the debts. I don't owe you anything.
Five children with full chest with that name, that
Exactly.
mom of
Full
five.
test. No families to help you. And you come and be singing to my ears. And now I'm like, you bring it, I give it back. You bring it, I give it back. Now he has mellowed. He has mellowed. Hence why obviously that some of these shows that we see online, they were like, I brought her abroad, she left me. What did you do? How did you support her? Did you just turn her to your money making machine? Oh, I brought you abroad. And like I said, some London men, Pastor Shola, I don't know if you listen to Pastor Shola. It's always like, all right, London men. They said this benefit you all sit down on. You chase it, you put your wives, especially one thing I've also noticed among the Nigerian men in the
Mm-hmm.
African community in diaspora is that once their wife becomes a nurse, they believe that she's making billion bucks. And I've often
Yeah.
shared on here that how much is my paycheck before tax? I get maybe £2,500. After tax,
Especially in the UK.
in the UK. So I maybe was 2.5, maybe 2,700 something pounds, and that's me working 7.5 hours a week. So before tax, about £2,750. After tax, I go with £2,100, and I've got five
Mm-hmm.
mouths to feed, 5 children. And the oldest, the more they are, I used to tell people that come, they are growing older now. I can't just go to Primark and buy them shoes. I can't
Mm.
even go to Next because I love shopping at Next. I can't even go buy them shoes or Next brand. They will just look at me and say, Mom, where's that from? If it is not Adidas, if it is not Nike, if it's not New
Mm-hmm.
Balance, they're not taking it off you. And then one man will now come and tell me that, Shebi, you are getting child benefits. Shebi, you are getting this, that. And I'm like, hear yourself talk.
Anywhere in the world, how much exactly is this welfare benefit? How much
Let me
exactly
tell
for an
you.
average
So
person?
for me now, I've got 5 children. The
Mm-hmm.
three are over the age of 18. So once the kids are over the age of 18, you don't get anything anymore for them.
Yes,
You
now
only
it
get
makes
for them
sense.
below the age of 18. So now I've got two below the age of 18. So there's something called child benefits. The oldest child gets about, I think, £23 something every week. And then the youngest gets about maybe just £14 something. So with that being said, every week I get about £45 for these two children every week.
And this
So
is
a
what you're
month,
using to slay on the internet, huh?
I wish. I wish, oh, I
Wait,
wish. So
wait,
that's
wait,
what I
wait. The mom of five. If common
yeah.
sense was so good, how come common sense is not telling some of these people judging single mothers on the internet that there's even if it's $5,000, it's not enough.
It's not enough. It's not enough. I've got a son who plays football. Do you know how many football boots I buy in a year? Do you know how many football boots? And this one, he likes to show. He's not a boy that
Yes, now.
he shows himself. He
Mm-hmm.
tells me he bring the make of the boots he wants to buy. If it is not that make, you buy him, he will not wear it.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
a year alone, he
And
can
naturally, you want to do as much of those things for them, but
exactly. At some point, I was saying to my husband, you are the one that told him to go and play football. So you are going to be the one responsible for buying his football boots. I'm not, it's none of my business. And he's looking at me, and when it turns to this tomorrow now, you say, you need this. I'm like, that's not my business. My own is to
so
go
so
to
wait, let's make sense out of this. So this money is the reason why you will get rid of your husband, so you can keep all the money to yourself. Is that the theory?
that's what some of them say. That's what these men do. They would not work because they believe that the part where they have to bring the money in, the government is supporting in that aspect.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
like I was saying earlier on now, £45 every week for 2 children, excluding my wages, okay? Excluding the man contributing anything. And then there's something called child tax. I mean, it used to be child tax credit, but now it's now under an umbrella called universal credit. And this is based on if you still have children below the age of 16. And then your income will be assessed. If you earn over a certain threshold,
You're not gonna get that
then
money.
they would deduct how much they support you with those children. When my young children were still below the age of 5, man of pressure, I will not lie, I was getting Korean money.
Yeah.
I was getting almost 2.5 grand.
But then obviously that doesn't last forever because children
Exactly.
children must grow.
Exactly. And that's what some of these men are missing, that you know what, these children, they grow when they exceed the age of 18. You don't get that anymore. You are basically living on your wage.
Right.
You're basically living on your wage. So I've seen cases like, people like, oh, but then you're getting benefit for the children anyway. And I've seen all of this come, and I'm like, okay, you're getting benefit. At the end of the day, this benefit is not meant to be paid, to be used for your rent. If you want to drive a flashy car, you work for it and you go pay the car finance yourself.
And then that will automatically reduce the benefit you get too.
Benefit, exactly.
So there's no winning with that formula and that theoretical formula that all of them are pushing all over social media. There's no winning with it. So it doesn't make any sense.
None. So this woman now, she ran for her life. I'm sure she's put all of her money in her pocket. She's happy she's alive, and I'm super happy that she's alive. But men just need to stop. African men, exactly, Nigerian men need to stop this talk of I brought her abroad, and she's a single parent friends are teaching her. Oh, you cannot talk back.
That's actually what you said. That I said I need to call in when you said the single people are teaching her. It's a very common. Yeah, it's a very common saying, and I always laugh because I've also been there where I was saying that friends were teaching my wife. Oh, okay. It's a knee jerk reaction talking point for men. So imagine. Right. So I'm saying this to all the brothers listening because again, it takes self-reflection, self-awareness, and just slow down and listen to yourself if it makes any sense. You know, if you don't slow down, it's not like you're going to make sense to yourself just acting out of emotions. Yeah. You will make sense out of yourself because your emotions is talking, obviously. Yeah. So we have a situation. Maybe I had a disagreement with my wife. She happens to have a new friend around. Guess who I'm going to blame?
The new friend.
The friend. Yeah. You know, it's a natural. I'm telling you right now, if you don't understand how men operate, men that are caught up in their emotions who haven't really worked on themselves, this is how they operate. The first thing they will blame is all the external factors. It's the same reason why we also tend to point fingers. We're quicker to point fingers as opposed to self-reflect and say, what part did I play in any one of this, right? So now if I'm asking myself as a husband, what part did I play here where even if that was true, let's say my wife is confiding in a friend, right? Yeah. Where was I? Why am I not my wife's best friend? Exactly. What did I miss? Like how did the loophole, some kind of loophole, get in the midst of our relationship where she felt safer with a friend? Yeah. Those are the self-reflection questions that you need to ask, and you need to sit in it and get it answered before you make any of these stupid statements again. It doesn't make any sense that you have a full-blown adult you're married to, and the person that will be influencing them, you're supposed to be the one with the bola. The one that will be influencing them the most is their
Yeah,
friend. That
exactly.
is that is you pointing back at yourself. You need to hold yourself accountable for that. That's your fault.
Exactly. I agree with you.
You know,
Uh,
so it's crazy, but if you sit down and really think about it, it makes sense that people get caught up in their emotions and they say
mhm.
the first thing that came into their brain, which is to play the victim. I'm
Yeah.
the victim of my wife's friends, my wife's mother, all these
Mm-hmm.
people that she's been, all the single mothers that are on social media. I'm the victim of social media.
Mm.
No,
Yeah,
you are the man. You
exactly.
something like you cannot blame the weather. The weather will happen. You cannot
Exactly.
blame rain and sunshine. It will happen. You cannot
Mm.
blame friends and social media because those things are default. They will happen. So what are
Absolutely.
you going to do about your
Nothing.
situation as
Mm.
as opposed to pointing fingers at everything else but self? So it's a big problem that I see across. Like I said, I was guilty of the same thing. It was the first thing. Today, if I was to do the same thing, there was a friend around that was very obnoxious, was annoying. I'm just being honest with you.
I actually went through that as well. At some point, obviously, when I was not allowing the cat to catch my tongue anymore, and when my husband, I was like, "Excuse me, like, what makes you think that somebody's advice out there will make me
Hmm.
change? Like, just hear yourself talk. If you're starting to think that way, then you know you're doing something wrong."
Yeah, yeah.
That was what I said to him.
Sometimes
If
you
you
blame
think
it on your TV shows you've been watching. House of Atlanta. You've been watching House of Atlanta. You've been watching. You've been watching Housewives of Lagos. These are the people that have been influencing you.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, if you're thinking that somebody's decision or somebody's opinion, or maybe I've shared something, if you think that person is influencing me, and you think I've actually changed, then you should know within yourself you're doing something wrong. And also, this brings me to where I say men often ignore women's feelings, women's concerns. Like I say to my husband that, you know what, he does things and I will know. And then when that thing backfires, and he'll be like, Dupe, me bad it is off well, but I'm like, it's because you know that you know what I was gonna say. That's why you did not tell me. Now they've chopped your money, they've
Right.
teach you a lesson the wrong way. That is now you're not coming to me. Why didn't you come and tell me in the first place? You
Right.
know?
Right.
So with that being said, men should also at least listen to their women's concern. So this lady now, she said she did not have an issue giving him 1,000 euros every month. And at the end of the day, why would you want to take 1,000 euros from a 9-month pregnant woman?
No,
You're not
the dynamics is all wrong. The dynamic. Oh, there's nothing wrong with the wife supporting the husband. Let's just make
yeah.
that clear. Because
Absolutely. You
often,
know what? Kind of, why I often say is this, or the kind of woman I am, you don't even need to ask me. I would
exactly.
automatically do it.
Yeah, I
If
would
you
hope
now
I'm
go
married to a
and
woman like that too.
I will
Yeah.
automatically do it. But if I think you're now taking me helping you, you're now trying to turn it to me being the odogu of the house. That's when I've got a problem.
So when you let me ask you this: how do you express that problem if you find yourself in that situation? How do you express that problem that
You
you
know, you know,
have? If
you know the way I used to say to the way I go about it. So my dad does this as well. When my mom has money and he had noticed that my mom has money, he will start coming with some on some unnecessary expenditures that he wants to do. And me, I'll be thinking in my head, but you don't have money and you want to do a project. So I'll just ignore. And then my husband will do the same. And we will start coming up with, and I really want to do this thing. I really want to do this thing. Me, I'll just ignore, like, say, I'm not listening. You don't have money. So how do you want to do the project? But
right,
you don't have
right.
money. So you're expecting me to come and put money. And me, I'm looking at that like, you don't need it. It's not necessary. You know?
But if you start to feel like you're the odogu and you're donating some of your own earned money into the
Yeah.
family more than it should be, or you don't know where the rest of the money is going and stuff like that,
Yeah.
how do you normally how have you expressed that in the past?
In the past, I often say to him that, you know what, like a lot of when things are, I've in a way I wouldn't talk at times, but I
Right.
will let some things that I would normally do, I will stop doing it.
I see. I
I
see.
will stop doing
So
it. So
so
if I
so
think,
from my experience, right, as a coach, most women, the last thing they want to do is not support their husband. That's the last thing on it. It's not that they don't want to support their
you don't
husband,
support, yeah,
but if the man is moving in a certain type of way that they don't see their man as the odogu anymore, right?
yeah,
It's a very subconscious thing. They cannot be turned on by that man. just in
Absolutely.
every respect. In
Mm-hmm.
every respect. Either we're
Uh,
talking sex, either we're talking about being the leader, or they can't trust that man.
Preach it, preach it, preach it, preach it, preach
Uh-huh.
it.
So it's deeper than her just intentionally decide I don't want to support.
I want to.
That's again playing the victim. Instead of,
Mm-hmm.
again, you can play the victim.
Mm-hmm.
That's allowed. We're all victims. That's the problem.
Yeah,
Okay, but
yeah.
how far are you going to go playing the victim?
The
Are you
victim.
going to be the victim of nature? I see Uncle Patrick sir. Uncle Patrick said MOP. You're right, but some women are being influenced by third party. See, the third party is the weather, right? How far are you going to play the victim of the third party? The weather
Mm-hmm.
is a default. It will happen.
Yeah,
Influence is a default. It will happen.
it
The
will happen.
surroundings, the environment will influence your partner. How
Yes.
far are you going to go playing the
To go.
victim of that situation that will never change? It's a
Exactly.
constant.
Yeah.
So the only thing that can change is you,
Exactly.
because you
Yeah.
cannot change these things. We cannot
Yeah.
change influence. Yes, the society will influence your wife,
Mm-hmm.
particularly against you if you don't know what you're doing as a man. Let me
Yeah.
flip this so that it doesn't look like it's gender.
Yeah.
Yes, the society will influence your husband. There's a community on the internet called the manosphere. They will influence your husband. It's a default. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
know what you're doing as a woman, if you don't understand your seductive powers as a woman, yes, society will influence your partner against you. It will
Yeah.
feel like it's against you because, yes, you can effectively become the enemy if they don't feel
Yeah.
right, they don't feel safe being around you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I agree with you, man of pursuit. I absolutely agree with you. I've got a few people in the house. I'm just going to allow them in one after the other. I don't
Please
want to.
feel free. I'm here. I'm hanging out. Yeah.
So, Dominic, um, unmute yourself, please, Dominic.
Oh,
And I'm going to give you a countdown. 3 minutes. I'm doing a CB show. 3 minutes.
that's
Okay.
fine. Good evening.
Hi,
Good evening
So,
Dominic.
and welcome.
hi. So I watched the video from the beginning,
Oh, thank
um,
you.
and I think that one of the issues that we have, especially in our community, I'm not Nigerian, but I'm from a neighboring country. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the problem is it started in childhood, in the sense that what we've been told being an adult is being over 18 or over 21 or working and living by yourself, and we've been told that from the aspect of adulting, the financial aspect of adulting.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other aspect of the human person that was never discussed. So people are able to go to university, get degrees, they're able to get a job, but they don't
Yeah.
know how to manage their emotions. They don't
Yeah.
know how to deal with confrontations. They don't know how to do all those things because they never knew that that was part of life, if that makes sense. Because
Yeah.
if you grew in an unhealthy home, the way people manage their emotions was violence. So you thought that's how you do it. If you
Mm-hmm.
grew in another home, people may manage their emotions by your mom and dad going to the room and having hush hush discussion and didn't know. So a lot of
Yeah.
people haven't grown up emotionally and they don't even realize that they have not grown up emotionally. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you've stayed in the same culture, that's why being abroad actually is good for our people because it
Mm-hmm.
allows you to see another culture and see that actually certain things you call normal in your culture isn't actually healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also vice versa. So you can learn from the fact that actually managing emotions like that don't work. And also, I think that as a human being, you need to do something that's healthy for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're a woman, for example, it's acceptable, I put in quote for some people,
Yeah.
that if you're a woman and you're emotionally unstable, that's synonymous with being a woman. But actually, it's not. It's not synonymous with any adult to be emotionally unstable. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people can accept flaws in you, which are actually very unhealthy and detrimental. So, as a human being yourself, you have to realize actually, even if they say that's what it means to be a woman, I'm not going to be that type of woman because it gives
Woman.
me a headache. It gives me
Mm-hmm.
stress. It makes me have reflux. So, I want to be emotionally stable. Same
Mm-hmm.
thing for the man. I don't really want to speak for the man because I'm not a man. So, I can just speak for myself. I think
Yeah.
it's just a growth problem and also an expectation that has been lowered so much in our community. And also,
Mm-hmm.
when you've come, I'll say this in the last minute and go. When
Yeah.
you've come
Last
from a
minute.
community of a lot of hardship, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's very easy to put the expectation very low. And a lot
Yeah.
of our expectations are purely financial. They don't go beyond finance because we think as long as we have money, you've solved the problem. But you can't. There are issues that we have that needs to actually sacrifice and
Mm-hmm.
contain your emotions. And you have somebody who can work 5 jobs but is not able to stop swearing. or insulting somebody. It's not normal. You have
Mm.
to put the energy that you put in your finance. You have to put the same energy in your own personal development to have more positive attributes. And yeah, that's it really.
Thank you so much, Dominic, for your contribution there. I really appreciate your presence in here, and I hope you stay till the end of the show. So I'm gonna let Mr. Ola in. Welcome, Mr. Ola. Unmute yourself. 3 minutes.
Yeah, thank you.
For 3 minutes.
That's my
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, Cookie Dola.
I just did, man.
How you did?
I just did.
Welcome, sir.
I agree to. You see these things about bringing somebody. It's just because somehow you have to understand. Women also have agenda or two. You understand me? Women sometimes when they earn much money like that, and she's seeing this guy in Africa, right? In their, oh, this guy is living very large. This guy is that. They're coming to abroad. Come on, it's okay. This guy's even managing. Even try to send you money when you're in Africa. They will start making money because our people, not just only Nigerians alone, black people have tendency of become very rude when they start making money.
Okay.
You know, they have that kind of bragger doing their shoulder that without them knowing, they just say something out like because they have money. You understand me? And some of these guys start saying, why this guy talk to me like this now? Now, just our culture. Don't be today say woman go sit down say help a guy. It happened everywhere. This abroad. For us Africans to get paper, or when they give us, without say you know deck, you know get Versace suit. It's you for street. It just like you, not because of the clothes when you wear, just because they say, man, I like this guy. If this guy on stage is not working yet, but I know if I'm able to help him, take care of him, nurse him up, he can get a job, we have a happy life. You understand me? Our system have no such characters at all. You understand me? A woman in Nigeria is being trained in another way. They're not seeing this kind of foresight. Our nature will now hurry, that would do. Because of that, we get a lot of very negative feedback. You understand me? So if you bring an African woman, especially Nigerians, to abroad, when they start making money, they will flip on you.
Wait, is that a guarantee?
No.
That's not true.
Before you speak, they'll just say, I beg you, you didn't shout. Wait to serve. Because now you the big person come the first time. They're even flipping on you. So now waiting because that marriage, nobody say they really know each other. Now just because the guy have one kind of useless thing in his mind, say he won't carry woman will be like his mama. You know,
last 30 seconds. You've got 30 seconds.
Yeah, it not be like that anymore for Nigeria. All these girls, when they carry come for Nigeria, all of them don't change. Once they get advantage on you, they will use it on you. That's just all. You know, men have to be very careful.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ola. I'm going to say I disagree with that. I was imported as well, and I am not like that. And I also have a family member actually who is married to a white woman, a white Scottish woman who already has 3 children from her previous marriage before meeting this our family member. This guy is working 3-4-7 hours to care for 3 children that Oyibo already had. His own younger brother now came. She gave them woto. So should we say this Oyibo is different or what?
Now paper. Because the guy look for paper.
If a woman decides to flip on a man, then there's something potentially wrong somewhere.
If you go carry second Oyibo, right? You go carry second Oyibo. Let me just go reply me and come out. If you go carry second
define secondary Oyibo, what to be that?
Person don't feel born before you don't get what kind of bad experience somewhere. You know, that because of that people make you they come. And some of them bad well. I'm not just some of them bad well.
With that being said, Mr. Ola, my jama will follow Oyibo. Oyibo go to let you know, say, now go to pay bill equal. No be say you enter my house, I clothe you, I like you, I wear Gucci, you wear whatever you get job. It's a standard thing. You enter, you start paying. That's what I'm saying. That this is our family, but he is one who is doing all the hard work. She only just had a baby with him last year. and they've been together for almost 6 years. And he does the football. Pikin when no be in Pikin, he takes them for
Uh,
football. He buys
let,
everything.
let me let me ask Mr. Ola this question. Let me ask Mr. Ola. So have you heard of this type of stories before, where the man is imported, the man is imported, and they feel like they cannot have a say in their own household, even though they were imported. Have you ever heard of this before? Like they feel like
yes,
they're walking on eggshells.
yeah. Now, this one a power play. You understand me? Who have the power?
No,
They
she
can.
has money too.
No, what
She's
I
the
mean,
one that brought him.
yeah. If it's the woman that brought this guy, you see, that paper of a thing and a very big spirit. It take a lot of people to not to use them against you. This boy says this second woman that they go carry pick will not be your own. You go they run around because they look for a British passport and everything, and then no, they go use you fully. You know,
So
they go,
if you be imported, right, and you find yourself in that kind of situation, right, and this woman is showing like she's a boss, she's a god right now, and as far as you're concerned, it's only because you brought. What would you do in that situation, sir?
if I get my paper finished, I go people for chair.
No, wait, before you get your paper, we don't even know say you go get the paper.
You know
But
what you
before you get before you get the paper, what you go do, knowing that you feel some type of way.
You not go see, you not fit to not here because you not get the power. You need power to leave that place, and you need something to go and find your own job.
But doesn't that make sense? Isn't that sense? Since you know.
exactly.
After don't get the pali, and the boss like you go just open peaceful for chair, so that make you understand. Say you could just take and play anyhow. Peaceful for chair.
Okay, so make we flip am, right? You brought a girl from Nigeria, you imported her.
Mm-hmm.
Some empathy to say this girl, she probably won't feel safe
Mm-hmm.
to tell me everything that she really wants to tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she even feels that I'm bossing her around, right? Listen, this is easier said than done. For me, if I import you, I'm not thinking that. Let me just warn everybody now. I'm not thinking that. The only thing I will do is that I will make sure that you're good because you're my girl. This is not just
Exactly.
I didn't import you. You're my girl.
Exactly.
That is the love. See, that is the love. If you really love that girl, and you know that girl will feel very uncomfortable in some certain things, you sit that girl down and say, look, if you have anything, because this time around you're not thinking about her job. If you have anything bothering you, let me know, please. I want you to be free. I want you to be everything. If you think they will have goals, what they want to do with their money. Goals, what you want to do. If they want to build together, it's easy, but there must have to be element of heavy love. If not that, it's just a business like transactional life. My brother, forget it too. It's not
Okay,
only
one last question for you, sir. Since you don't guarantee us, say
1 minute.
sorry, so sorry. Since you don't guarantee us, say if this woman make more money than you, she go flip. You don't guarantee us that one, right?
That's his own belief.
If a man is about to find out that his girl is about to make more money than him, what would you advise him to do, sir?
you should not be intimidated now. If actually you people love each other, that should not be your problem because if she's making that money, that's not your problem. Maybe she's up to that level because of maybe she attains a state of education in her life.
No, you're guaranteeing that she will flip.
You flip
So
exactly.
That have some element of if there's no see. Don't I'm not saying every woman though, but there's
that's all. That's all I want to hear. You're done.
there are
You're done,
some
sir.
Thank you,
that
sir.
you
30
bring.
seconds is up.
So
That
thank
was
you
it.
very
Like
much.
Uncle Patrick, you're in.
Thank you, Uncle Kidola. I appreciate you, sir.
Yeah,
Uncle Patrick, you are in. Good evening, sir. Welcome, sir. Good to have you
Uncle
again.
Patrick, sir. Good to see you, sir.
thanks for having me. Anyway, thank God that you guys ended that way. Yeah, I like putting things in context, and everything Brakidola said is true. It does happen. It may not be Wemimba or Ola, but it happens in homes. We've seen it happening every time. So what I wanted to talk about is some women being influenced by third party.
Mm.
Ola, I like putting things in context. And I have people calling me. I'm going to give you an example. One of my cousins, very junior to me, the mother's my brother, my dad's younger sister, as in. So she was a lawyer in Nigeria, very smart girl. She came in here. She was imported. And when she came out. She came and found out that the guy has been here for almost 40 years. Was even living in an apartment. Has a good job, you know, someone that didn't get married. The guy was helping other people, but the guy just told her, you have to go back to school. She went to do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
She had a harem in like 3 years. Got 2 kids. Before you know it, she went to do that BSc. Through her, they were able to buy a house. You know, she said the first salary she collected, a lady from our Paracor meeting, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Community meeting, Nigeria, told her, don't let your husband know how much you are collecting. She was like, what? Are you serious? She called me. Says, this woman crazy? How can you tell me that? You know, she now knew everything that's happening in America. This man that said I shouldn't work for how many years, taking care of me. The woman said, that's how you would do it in America. Don't allow him to see, don't lie to. You know how many people that woman will have deceived?
So you are saying she wasn't influenced?
Yeah, he wasn't influenced. But
She wasn't fine.
she wasn't influenced. But you know how many women have been influenced to do that, and they are still doing it. And let me give you another one to round up. The one that usually happen in America that I've seen happening, most women, by the time they start working, they find themselves, they want to bring their parents to America. They want to bring their brother. Even when their husband told us, can you relax? I'm going to give
They don't listen.
I'm going to give
usually.
an example. My sister, they've been here for 50, her husband has been here for 52 or 54 years.
Mm-hmm.
The husband just retired. Can you believe before my parents came, they were almost 30 years. Before my parents, they enjoy. My parents came 1997 to America. And one of their friends bought my mom a gold watch, about $2,000 of those days, because they liked my parents. I tell you, that thing have destroyed many homes. Most women, they want to bring their money. No, relax. You have your parents. I'm not saying you shouldn't bring your parents, but you know, make sure you are well grounded. You know what I mean? You know you can afford it. Some of them, by the time they start working as a caregiver, they believe they are making money. They are the god in their home. Back in Nigeria, their husband cannot tell them anything again. That is wrong. And it is happening day in, day out. That's what I want you guys to understand. It's happening day, breaking home. Whatever the man said, they say, no, well, you are saying your own, at least I'm making my money now. That is wrong. Yo, many women are just carrying shoulder for nothing. You are working 22 hours. You are not taking care of the children. The children are just doing whatever they want. That will not sustain your home. You need to be there for your children so that at the end of the day, they will make a good. But some women will like, they will just come home, sleep for 5 hours, they've gone back to work. You are just suffering yourself. Do you think if I'm doing that kind of job, I'll be able to be calling telephone, talking to you guys? By God's grace, I can't be doing that at this level. That's what I want to say.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. There's something Auntie B often said that when there's a basket, it takes 2 people to pour into it. If one person is only pouring, there's going to be an issue. Yeah. Regardless of if it's the man that is making the money, regardless of if the wife is the one making the money. And why am I saying this? I'm going to quickly run back to the case of my parents. Obviously, I've shared the story of how I'm not in a DV marriage, okay, but I was raised in a home where there's DV between my parents. At some point, I felt, because there was no, I mean, to the best of my knowledge, my 2 brothers, they were fine. And me being the 3rd child, 9 years in between my brothers, I never experienced any cases like that between my parents. But when I was maybe about 5, 6, 7 years old, that's when I started noticing that amongst my parents, between them. And it was after my mom had me, she stopped working. Prior to that, there was no issues. But then my mom stopped working. I felt it was because it was my dad only that was actively going to work and bringing in the money. So I felt because he was the only one working, the stress, like the stress of him being the only one bringing in the money led him to be that way with my mom. And my mom was a full-time housewife. She was caring for like this. She went on to have 2 more children after me.
So I felt, though I'm not justifying DV in a relationship. In a way, if one person is only pouring into the basket and there's nothing wrong with the other person, your hand no break, you are not in Bobby and you're not doing anything, trust me, there's gonna be issues. There's gonna be issues, and except both of you sit down and look for means of making sure that both of you pour into the basket. And it could be the man alone that is pouring into the basket here, and it could be the woman alone pouring into the basket here. And I trust me, women, we like to talk. And women, we know we must have our own money. But then, if it's just one person, trust me, there's going to be issues. And it's that issues when it comes to women's part, like if it's the only women that is doing it, that is when men always have issues that, how dare you? You are my wife. I imported you. Even if I'm not able to pay for it. Years. A few years will lead to 20 years, and you, the woman, is still doing it. That is when often I always like, no, things have to change. That's when women started talking, men will be like, oh, but I brought you abroad now. I've been the one who was at home with the children. You went to school, you did that, you did this. So now that I'm not working, what stops you? Because the children are bloody grown. You can as well start and put, and again, often why I often say to men, some men who actually don't think they should do so, especially in this diaspora, is that your children are going to grow. What if you retire? Is it the only money that your woman is being paid? How much is pension money that they give them now in the abroad? Is it that small finishing money that is not enough for one person that both of you want to be living on at your retirement? So if you're not doing it for yourself, doing it for your old age. And children in the diaspora, they don't care about you. If you're not careful, they'll go and throw you in care home. They don't care. That's why even if you don't think that, or maybe working out to look after the family, what of your retirement age? What of your old age? So that's just input I want to put there. Thank you, Mr. Patrick. Abby, I've got you in the house. You've got the floor.
Before Abby goes, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So everything that Uncle Patrick said is true. You know, multiple things can be true at the same time.
Okay.
You know, this conversation is about really expectations. Shout out to that young lady that came before Uncle Kidola. Dominic. I think Dominic. Yeah. Expectations and pride. You know, those two things, they will breed many other issues.
Yeah.
For example, a woman who hears a weird advice at work and actually took to it and actually took the advice in as it makes sense. Keep all your money. Don't share all the money you are making, though. Right? See, a person is doing that and they have a valid reason why they felt like that's a good, right? We know long run that it's probably about idea for you to be in a marriage where you feel the need to hide your resources. We know in the long run.
Yeah.
But in the short term, it will make sense to a person's mind that, you know, so we call that they are being influenced. What can we change in that situation? We're not going to change that stranger at their school or their work.
No.
We can't change that. The only thing we can change is to make sure that our relationship feels safe enough that even when people hear terrible advice, which are default, they are given, they will happen. The only thing we can do is make sure that our relationship feels safe enough for our partner to not yield to those type of advices, which we will always have more than enough supplies of those influences and advices. That's number one. Number two, the idea of bringing your whole family, that is, in fact, a conversation we should have. It's just not...
because of you deciding about that.
Yeah. That's it, because we have clients that also struggle with that. In fact, the husband is struggling with telling her the truth because he feels some type of way with how they're throwing the money. We also have men who also go and spend a lot of money on politics without passing the idea through their wife first. And then before they know it, the wife is finding out that, God don't waste $200,000 of our life savings on trying to become a politician in Nigeria. See, we have all those crazy stories. All those stories exist. There's no doubt about them. But what we can tell, my job is to tell you that those things more of them will happen if your relationship don't feel safe for people to run issues through you before they take this thing. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks so much, the President. Abby, you've got the floor. We're rounding up.
Good evening, everybody.
Hello, Gen Z resident.
Hello.
Hi,
So,
Abby.
hello, man of prestige. Nice to have you here. Please come back
I'm
again.
always here. What do you mean? But I'll come on stage. Is that what you
Never,
mean?
yeah, but we never see your comments.
Give him
So
moto
don't
moto,
just
Abby.
yeah. But anyway, and also Uncle Patrick as well. Nice to have you on stage. So I actually did not intend calling in today because I feel like we had such an amazing panel today, so there was no need. But as always, anyone that is here knows that myself and Okukidola, we actually get in arguments all the time. He woke me up from where I was eating my eba. So here's the thing. I feel like when topics like this come up, it's almost like we blame women a lot because I personally have witnessed my parents, or at least at an older age, my mom has told me some things, obviously being an adult and stuff. And I feel
Yeah.
like not only women listen to their friends, if that makes sense. And I
Yeah.
say this to say that anybody can be influenced, whether it's by the internet. We have the likes of what's the name of that guy, the European guy, Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate.
Yes, we have. It doesn't have to be friends. It can be the internet. It can be even now in recent times where we have a very huge feminist movement across social media as well. That's enough is enough to alone is enough to motivate women to not
Yeah.
take certain things. But what I actually wanted to touch on is the pushback. A lot of men do not understand that women are pushing back because for the most part, a lot of women are fed up. Now, not necessarily because of their own experiences, but the experiences of our moms, our
Yeah.
auntie, those before us. So I feel like the average woman, right, that knows herself, I'm not talking about a woman that is scared or has self-esteem issues. I think the average woman that is aware of these things already has what's the word? Has some sort of I don't know the word I'm looking for. They kind of already assume that men are not to be trusted. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense. I don't know, and I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just explaining
Mm.
something, right?
Yeah.
Because we've seen our moms go through stuff, we've seen our aunties go through stuff, and the idea is almost like, this cannot be me. Every time I was telling my friend, I'm not married yet, and I was telling my friend that I'm tired of being on the negative side of social media. I want to start watching content that promotes marriage in a good light. I'm tired of every time this man did this thing. This man, it makes me feel very concerned about marrying a Nigerian man, which everyone that's been here before knows that's my preference, right? It makes because every time as well in the comment section, we see the way Nigerian men support all sorts of things. It's scary.
Yes.
And I'm like, Lord, these are the men that are left. And I'm just even scared. I've been on a few dates this year, and one of them lasted 30 minutes because this man, I always do a feminist test. He does not like women. He does not like women. He does not like the idea of a successful woman. And that's what I'm saying. A man that is scared of your success doesn't feel the need to what's it called? To celebrate your wins, no matter how little, is a problem. Of course, you're going to feel threatened by it. And any
Yeah.
little thing you do, because this is the thing, there's always a big picture as well. People just pick on things, oh, this one happened, that one happened. Even something like you cannot afford to buy your own car can cause an issue because I used to be the one that bought the cars in this house as the man.
Mm.
But so what's the point of me working? Even things we've heard this before, especially in America, where you hear stories all the time about the men that marry the nurses and bring them back and all. Just the fact that I'm now able to send my parents money now becomes a bigger issue. So I say this to say that I don't even think that is about women being right or men being right. I think a lot of women are pushing back because we're very concerned about men. I'm sure you've heard that whole thing of a lot of women, if you put them in a room, they would choose the bear. I don't know if anyone has heard that statement. Choose
No,
a
I've not
bear
heard that.
before, yes, like the animal, a bear, before they choose men. That's how scary a lot of women's experience with men.
No, I think there's a Yoruba adage that when you see a snake and a man, the man that you shoot,
Pretty
you
much.
should
A
want a
lot
life
of women
first.
will tell you that they will choose the bear. That's how scary it is. So it's not always our experience. It's not always, oh, we want to be mean. I think some women don't even give men chances because we've had to learn from other women's bad experiences, which is why, like I said for myself, I've said to cleanse my social media. I know that there's bad things happening, but I would like to see good things too.
You
Yeah.
better because honestly, you'll miss out on life if you don't.
Exactly. So I'm just kind of
Yeah.
tired of it. But I just think that generally when it comes to dating, courtship, all of that stuff, I think that a man that is concerned. Somebody has told me that I do too much. Because I'm always doing something. I'm always looking for a new hobby. I'm someone that believes that I need to be interesting and I need to know a couple of things, right? So if a man is telling you that, oh, what are you doing today? I'm going to the gym, and then afterwards I have pottery classes. And it's like, why are you always doing so much? I don't understand.
What does that mean?
Exactly. And that was the last time I picked his call. It's very simple. So my point is, those are the little things. Pottery class where I'm using my hand and clay is doing too much. Is it necessary? You know, I don't know if I'm what I'm making. So that kind of person, I become manager at work, or I'm heading a team of 20. He's going to think that I'm a threat in the.
You will come and boss me at home.
Exactly. Meanwhile, like Mom of Five said, yes, you could be earning well. Yes, you could be doing so much at work, but it doesn't mean you can't be a submissive, good wife as well. Right? A lot of men also listen to their friends. A lot of men are also influenced by what they see on social media. That's actually the point I wanted to make here. It's not a woman thing. So I'm tired of making it people saying it's a woman thing. I have a friend that got married last week. That's Mom of Five, the friend that I styled.
Yeah, I saw the picture. Yeah.
She got married last week, and she said to me, so her husband, well, she perceives me as, you know, someone that she can speak to. She's my close friend. They already had a fight, and she called me. And then the next morning, she sent me a message and said, I feel bad because our counseling, they said we should not bring third party in. I said, you know what? I understand. And then she followed
wait. So she was going to counseling and she wanted to bring you in.
So she went to counseling before the marriage, before they got married.
Okay.
And they had a little quarrel. So basically, I'll just give you the background. They met, and within 2 weeks, he said he was going to marry her. So they did not have a long courtship. Literally, we're saying December. She told me, "Oh my God, Abby, I'm getting married." I'm like, "Excuse me, you're not dating. What are you on about?" She explained to me how they've been following each other on social media. He came to Lagos. They live in Lagos, or she lives in Lagos. He lives in Australia. They came to Lagos. This happened, and I'm getting married. So the next thing, we're in April. They did their civil and introduction, and then December is white wedding and traditional wedding, like proper Niger style. So when they had the quarrel, which she felt like basically he's occasionally condescending. So he's very calm. You know when someone is calm, but they will say some things that are very heavy.
They're the worst. They're the worst, actually.
They will not think that they've not done anything. You don't have to shout, you know? So that's what she basically accused him of. And then so I spoke to her. I said, you know what? You have your own methods. He also has his own methods. You guys have to come to understanding. And then obviously her thing is she kind of is a bit regretful that she did not get to know him. And I said,
how long was the whole courtship? I know there's 2 weeks that they got to know each other.
April, 4 months.
4 months. And how old are they? Range? How old?
My age range, so 28. He's 1 year older, so about 29, 30 he is, and then she's about 28.
Oh yeah. Personally, I would want to see at least a year.
I agree, Mom. I know I say this all the time. I agree. But obviously, like when she shared that she was getting married, I asked her, "Are you sure?" But here's the thing. She said to me that this is exactly how she prayed for it, blah, blah, blah. I always say something. When somebody says, my mom said, or God said, I don't argue with them anymore. Who am I?
Exactly. That's it. That's a very wise way to look at it.
Yeah, this part about me. Your mother said, oh, okay. Your mom, I cannot know more than your mom. God told you, I cannot know more than God, right? So I just left it at that, and I congratulated her. And I've been doing my own thing as a friend. I've styled her. I'm there for her fully. No wahala. So the thing is, the next morning after this conversation, she texts me and say, "Oh my God, Abby, I feel bad because at counseling, they taught us that we shouldn't involve third party. I guess I will learn." Literally what she said. I said, you know what? I understand. But I just think that as long as you're discerning as to the third party that you involve, you cannot go and involve an idiot.
But who is she feeling bad about? Who is the third party that she involved?
Me. She called me to report her husband or to ask my opinion.
So one, are you Yoruba, Abby, by any chance?
Yeah, Abby is happy Yoruba people.
Wọ́n lá àkìtì olójú ìka mẹ́fà ká. We don't count somebody's.
You understand that?
You understand that? So she came to you and she come and tell you that I feel bad because I told you. No, that issue is much more deeper than.
Okay, so basically what it is that her husband, so she left the room. And she told him she went on a walk. So her husband figured she was talking to someone because he saw her on the phone. So I think he brought it up about third party and stuff. So she's
Right.
now saying that she feels bad because that's what they were advised. Then she follows up with, but I have a friend who was married for 4 years. It was a pretty bad marriage. And she kind of wishes she spoke up or
She
spoke
spoke
to
to
people from time
someone.
to time. So I just say to her, you know what? I agree with the third party thing to an extent, within reason, right? Because sometimes the thing about involving someone else is that you kind of want to check that you're not crazy.
Yeah.
Because one thing that
Yes.
men can make you feel, men can make you feel like something is wrong with you. Meanwhile, you're
Yes,
saying,
I agree,
"What's going on?"
100%.
Almost like gaslighting. Let's not throw words
You're
around.
gaslighting us right now, by the way, just so you know. You're gaslighting me and Uncle Patrick.
No problem. No problem. 4 or 5, you know what? You just be this
I
thing
agree
just-
100%.
So sometimes
I
you
need
want
to
to
write a
call
book
your
about that,
friend and be
actually.
like, wait, am I losing my mind?
Mm,
Does this make sense? Right? So I
exactly.
understand where she's coming from. And I said to her, but all I want to say is that whoever you're confiding in, you have to make sure that they have the same values as you.
Yeah.
You have to make, that's the thing, because you cannot confine in someone that will say, go and cheat, or go and drink, or go and
Yeah.
smoke. You understand? You have to make sure they have the same values as you, and you perceive them as, you have to discern.
Mm,
You perceive them
Discern.
as
That's
someone that
it.
has
yeah.
a good head on their shoulders.
That's it. The word is discern. It's not
Yes.
about telling a third party or not. We try to make it about that, and it's not really about that. Of course, you should be careful. That should be now common sense. You should be careful who you share your issues with, because the reality is that misery loves company. That's the reality in life,
Yeah.
and some people are just and getting entertained by your misery also.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that, but to just make that an absolute, there's nothing in life you can make an absolute. Like literally nothing you can make an absolute. Sometimes exactly what you need to do is speak up to the nearest thing you find. If you find yourself in danger, even if it's an animal,
Yeah.
and sometimes what you need to do is shut up sometimes.
Yeah.
When it comes to between you and your husband or your wife, shut up sometimes. Have a conversation with them directly, and sometimes that means you have to listen a little bit longer. Maybe they don't let you talk because you tend to do most of the talking, or maybe they're just terrible at communication skills. All those things can be true, but there's none of this stuff is absolute. And that's why I laughed a little bit, because if somebody thinks they're going to create absolute rules for themselves going into a marriage, they have no idea what they're getting into. And that's okay, by the way, because all of us, when we say I do, we don't know what we're doing. All of
We are
us.
doing exactly. Yes. So,
You
like
know?
me now, 20 years married, I probably started learning maybe 10 years into the marriage.
We're still learners. All of
And
us. We're still
exactly, we are still learning. You
Yeah.
can never stop the learning. You can never stop the learning.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you so much, Abby, for that. Like I said, for me, men import women, women import men. I just think that it's the men that do too much. That's my opinion.
I think it's the women that do too much. I'm with Uncle Patrick on this one.
No,
But
the men, the men, the men.
since you want to make it gender, let's just side our agenda then.
Because it's the men that will say, I brought you abroad, I did this, I do that. So because you brought her abroad, why the kete eh? Why
I want to ask
the
you a question.
Women do it, and it's worse.
We spoke about this on my family, on my friendship group chats. I want to ask you a question, right?
Yeah.
If somehow before you get married to a man, right?
Yeah.
You came into 100 million pounds. I
Amen.
want to say naira. Amen. No, I don't know
Amen.
how, but amen. Something like rich fowl. Is it that rich fowl or what's it called? Or what do you call that thing? Lottery. But you
Yeah.
came into 100 million pounds. Can I ask you, if you love somebody, you're married? Let's say you're not married though. Obviously, you're a married woman now. You're not married. You love somebody, you get into marriage. Would you
Yeah.
disclose all of your 100 million?
No, I won't.
Why not?
I'm not married to the person. I don't know their
No,
Oh, you're not married. Oh,
No,
you're married.
Man.
If I'm married,
You got 100 million prior to the marriage. Would you bring
And now
down
you're
100
married.
million to the marriage?
so if I understand clearly, if I get the money prior to getting married,
Yeah.
I actually will, because for us to have gotten to a stage of we are planning to get married, I will disclose it. Yes.
Yeah, mistakenly, unintentionally, because you're in love with this person.
It's just
You're
like
telling them things you're not supposed to be telling themselves.
Sorry, forget mistake. Just logically, from a logical standpoint, do you think it's a good idea to disclose it? Uncle Ola, I feel like you will see a man
No, wait. Even as a man, right?
Yeah.
I will mistakenly tell her things I'm not supposed to tell her.
I would tell.
And that's the healthy things. That's the healthy place to be. Why would you go into a marriage to become one with a person you don't feel free to be open to? Is that dangerous? Is that dangerous from a logical standpoint? The world is a dangerous place. Hello, newsflash. The world is a dangerous place.
Okay. Anyway, our group chat was split. Some people said that they will disclose some of it. So let's say they will keep what they call emergency funds away from him. So maybe they'll disclose 60 million and then find a way to hide.
Let me guess, Abby. They will go and keep the emergency fund in CBEX.
I don't know.
I'm done. I'm done with this topic right now. We try to protect ourselves so badly. We sabotage.
You're going to flog me. But let me tell you what I say.
Oh, yeah, continue, Abby. Yeah.
Me, I'm of the opinion that as a woman, as an individual, man or woman, anything you bring into the marriage, I already own a property, for instance. In the past, I've dated someone that already has a property. So for me, it's like, okay, you have your house. When we come together, we're going to buy more together. Me, I'm of the opinion that anything you do before marriage is your own. Anything in the marriage.
It's no arguing with that.
Marriage, we now start to do things together. Yeah. So my 100 million, if you want me to borrow you, I don't mind.
And we're not saying you should give me. All I said is, as your husband, just borrow me. I didn't say you should give me.
And that's, let me tell you something. Marriage, there's no borrow. Even relationship, I can't. All the boyfriends.
Now you know. Just borrow me now.
As a smart woman, we are going to draft contracts.
I will sign your contract.
Yes, you are going to pay me back,
including the marriage contract and the marriage covenant. I will sign it too. I will sign my life over to you.
Boyfriend and husband, they don't used to pay money back.
We don't pay money back. That's the point. That's why I said borrow me.
You don't ever pay the money back. Oh, do you know how long my husband invoice is?
I said that's why I said we'll sign contracts on top of this thing. But anyway, my own opinion is that yes, you would know about the 100 million, but I will not bring it into the marriage. You too. I'm not expecting you to bring your own 100 million into the marriage. Anything moving forward is cool. That's that.
Whatever you say now, I agree with. As long as you marry me, just borrow me the money.
Like I said, even the borrowing, we're not going to use love to borrow.
I will sign all your contracts, including the marriage contract.
Yes.
Just make sure you sign the marriage contract too. Then the rest.
And the rest will be history.
No, you're not. Man of pressure.
I'm with you now, Abby. I'm with you.
You're not understanding that contract past contract too. Contract that having clauses. I'm almost like no clause of if you
ironclad. What do you call it? Prenup. Ironclad. I will sign all as long as you marry me. I will sign it. As long as you allow my own representation to check it too, make sure I protect my interest, right? We're fine. But that covenant, that marriage covenant, the spiritual one, you go sign that one too, Abby.
No, but that's where we have, and these are the issues. These are the issues. If everybody actually went spiritually, we will have less problems. But a lot of people are unnecessarily logical. Do you know what? In a normal society, I would like to bring my 100 million in, and even access to it. But we know that that's not how the average human being operates. That's why I'm of the opinion that anything before should be yours. And this, you see me, I'm not saying that I want anything from the man. No, I'm saying that even you have a right to say this thing is my own.
And I can change my mind too, Abby.
Change your mind. What do you mean?
And anything.
No, the rules are very simple. Anything you bring prior to the marriage is yours.
Let me say this one thing, and I'm serious, Abby.
Togetherness.
Let me say this, Abby, and I'm serious.
Yeah.
You see, my logical brain, I can turn it off in this moment and just fall in love. I can just do that. You see that spiritual aspect of human beings, or quote unquote, overlapped with emotional nature of human beings. Forget. You can't turn it off. I don't care how logical you become. Just write this down. Know this and know peace.
Hey.
I'm sorry. The world is a dangerous place. I'm sorry, Abby. I'm sorry.
Yes, Uncle, but you're assuming that.
Assuming what?
You're assuming that I'm going to marry based off of just love. You're assuming that it's love that makes
It doesn't have to be love, but your emotions will be involved before you marry me.
assuming
Yeah.
that's an assumption.
If you don't marry me for emotion, me too, I don't want the marriage. How would I marry somebody that's not emotionally engaged with me?
You don't know now. All these people, and there's this post of this guy, I can't remember, like some Hollywood producer.
Mm-hmm.
You see the man actually looks, no disrespect, but from the screen you can smell him. He actually looked like he was smelling. And then the woman that he was dating was like 30 years younger than him.
Wait,
Sorry,
you
does
can
the
smell
man-
somebody from the screen. There's nothing logical about that one. That tells me that you look at that person, you discern. You say, this guy, they smell.
if you see the plaque on his teeth. I say this to say that the younger actress, 30-something year old, these are Oyibo people that was with him. Sorry, is it love?
We are rounded up.
Is it love?
Let me say this, Ola.
Yes, sir.
You know, women are not wired to take care of a man.
That's
No.
a fact.
Yes.
That's a fact.
You get what you give now.
Hey, exactly. We give it first.
All right, yes.
Exactly.
You are the one that come to torture me. You are the one that come to toast me.
Exactly. You're giving us what we gave you back. You might multiply it.
That's a fact. And you know, whatever she does, she's doing it for security.
Safety and security, sir. Same
Safety
thing.
and security.
Potato. Mm-hmm.
Fact.
Yeah.
And you know, that's why I'm very concerned with all those men in England or London that they are not working. And what kind of a man is that?
It's not a man, sir. You're absolutely correct. Thank you for bringing that back to the surface.
Airports tell them, honestly, I have a video that I wanted to do, but my family will drag me inside if I do it.
So, you know, like somebody said, men in London, they just go from one woman to another.
That's what they do. That's what they do.
That means there are many women, sir.
Yeah, well, me more than work on Jack Chris everywhere.
That's what they do. See, Pastor Shola, I'm not sure what Pastor Shola, they have Jack Pastor Shola. See, if you go on TikTok and watch Pastor Shola, the way he's giving them woto, like, and then you see all the women in the comment section say, "Oh, I have a friend." You know, that's what they do, sir. They just have multiple like that in different cities. That's what they do.
What, they have multiple baby mothers or just girlfriends?
Even at a baby mother, and
all of the above.
So that city that we only take them maybe an hour on the train or even an hour on the coach, so that could on you.
So wait. So the man of five. So you now come back, you now tell me that women are suffering, but somehow they are giving all these men access.
But then how would the woman that the man is coming to knows that that's what he is doing? That is just toss pay everywhere.
I mean, she can just sign all kind of contract like Abby just said and protect herself.
But no, just don't trust London men. That's what
I've been to London.
They don't want. They just go about.
They
go about using love to call all over your budget.
You know, I just thank God that's not the place I am. I don't like that place.
Esa, I need London, we have London here. There is Houston and we have Brooklyn.
I don't live there anyway.
Well, I want to ask a question. This thing
Yes, ma'am.
I just said. Isn't it more rampant in America though? We have homosexuals in America. Like, it's more rampant. Don't get me wrong. I think it's all over anyway.
Americans or Nigerians?
No, I'm Black Americans.
That's so. You know, I'll be honest with you, Abby. I stopped becoming the police of generalization. I stopped because it's endless. I can't. It drains my energy. I hear it, but I turn it off when I hear generalization. I hear it, my brain catches it, but I turn it off. Let's just say we were generalizing, okay? Yeah, no, of course, it's more here. Of course.
I think the only thing, because what I'm saying there is just obviously like generalization sometimes is just based off of stereotype as well. Yeah. And the stereotype a lot of Black American men, whether it's immigrants or actually Black American men, is we hear a lot of these stories on across social media, is that. But the stereotype of London men, Momo 5, is stinginess.
That's another angle. We won't finish the show today. She says she agree.
50-50 also finish Black British men.
Yeah.
So have you guys had a?
Can I leave? Please.
Yes, sir.
There are stories now.
Thank you
I'm going to
for
watch lots of stories on Facebook and
Yeah.
TikTok about all this, shenanigans.
So I'll say this. Have you guys stumbled into the manosphere before? The manosphere is black American men for the most part. The same complaints, not that Nigerian men complain, no. The same complaints that Nigerian women complain in terms of how dangerous it is to get with women. All you have to do is change the pronouns. Just that's men that don't collect woto woto. You understand what I'm saying? From women complain the same thing. The audience of people like Andrew Tate, right? So the reality is that people are not doing the necessary work they need to do when it comes to relationship. Sometimes they usually start with being overly emotional, which I think that's what Abby was speaking to, and then they flip to the extreme other end of being overly logic. The overly logic, you're not being human being. It's not going to work. The overly emotional, obviously, this is the real world. Like I said, you will get hurt by the closest people to you, including your siblings sometimes at an emotional level. I'm talking about now. They will gaslight you. They will make you look like you're crazy. Is it only me that I've lived with siblings that you had a bass, not physically necessarily, but they make you feel like you're crazy because there's a disagreement, right? So now when you bring marriage into it, there's this pedestal that we put marriage on. Subconsciously, we don't think that person should ever be able to offend us, at least not at the level of infidelity or cheating or any kind of betrayal for that matter, right? Or even gaining weight extra 100 pounds than they were when you married them. You don't that's not the thing you're thinking about when you marry them. So there's more than enough environmental factors you can blame. There's only one thing you can change: you.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the bottom line. Everybody should just know and know,
Yeah.
please. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, man of Prestige. I really appreciate
Thank
you
you for
being
having
here.
me. Thank
And
you.
please come again. Just like Abby said, come again because I've got a long list of talks that I'll be bringing here. It's just I know there's time difference here, but I really appreciate your contribution here today.
Thank you,
And
Uncle.
I
Thanks
think
for
I'm going to
coming.
message you at some point. I've been
Thank
following
you,
you back
Abby.
on Instagram as well, so you
Feel
get a DM
free.
at some
Feel
point.
free. Anytime. Anytime.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. But in
All right.
essence, all I'm
Yeah.
almost going to preach about is this: that if a man loves you, no matter what that love is, no matter how much a man loves you, it should not involve to them putting their hands on you. Please, I as a woman, I will never stand a man who puts his hands on me, and I don't expect any woman out there, either you watching me or you've ever come across any of my videos. Please do not condone a man putting his hands on you. Okay, rather than putting his hands on you, I'd rather he lets you go than him putting your hands on you, because is whoever is alive that is able to live this life. And if you're saying that you're staying because of your children, those children will grow up. You even damage them in the process of you staying in a DV relationship. I hope we have learned from this story of this lady. She was subjected to DV even while pregnant, even still contributing money to her husband. He still treated her that way. She loved him. She loved him to bits. But I guess, and also men in diaspora, some African men in diaspora, you guys will have to come out here and tell us why some of you are not working. Because you imported your wife in, is now an avenue for you not to do anything. I still don't understand the reason behind it, and hopefully we'll bring in some of those videos here or those shows here, and we will be learning, okay? And like I've always said from my famous auntie there's a basket, and in a relationship, both of you need to be contributing, okay? In my own opinion, the man needs to be contributing the more, because you are the one with the focus. You are the one who is ruling the household, so you should be putting the more in the basket. And the woman will, if you treat the woman well, if you treat her well, she would, like, you won't even need to ask her before she puts in the basket. You don't need to even ask her before she needs to put in the basket. She would automatically put into the basket when she observes that, okay, maybe you're a little bit short this month. But if you're now demanding, I want half of your salary every month, and you know, go work. Anyway, thank you so much, each and every of you who have been here. Uncle Patrick, Mr. Ola, David Black, I see you. Man of Prestige, I doff my hat to you. Thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate that. Happy, thank you for coming. Zeno, thank you for coming. All the new faces in here, I hope you like it here. Please like this show. I think there's about 30 something of you watching me at some point. I don't know how many likes we have so far. Please like this video. so you could reach other people, so that some imported wives can learn, and some imported husbands can also learn as well. Okay, me sitting down here, I do not know it all, and me sitting down here, I am not a saint. Oh, I am not a saint. I need to put it out there. I am not a saint. I give basketballs. I give water. I am not a saint. Yes. So thank you so much, guys. And Abby has dropped all of my social media handle there. If you're not following me yet, if you've got any business collaboration for me, my email is on the screen. That's mom5@gmail.com. And yes, I've not seen it. I've not received any super chat today, but yes, I received PayPal. So my PayPal remains my email as well. That mom5@gmail.com. And my Instagram handle, if you're not following me yet, still that mom5 as well. And if you're not following me on TikTok, I share practically everything on TikTok, and I've been sharing my weight loss journey on TikTok. As of today, I have lost 28 pounds. Okay, 28 pounds. I've lost 28 pounds, and I'm super happy with that. I'm starting to wind down now. So yeah, I share my weight loss journey on there. And yeah, if you have a small business and you want me to shout out your business for a small fee, DM me and I'll happily do that. All right. Thank you to each and every one of you who have joined me here. I really appreciate you all. And this is me wishing you an amazing Easter in advance. So the weekend starts for me today. Today's Thursday here in the UK, and I'm not back to work till next week Tuesday. So I might see what other topics I might bring here. So have an amazing Easter holiday. Do not eat too much chocolate, okay? Watch your waistline. And thank you to each and every one of you who have been here. Like I said, don't hesitate to like, watch, subscribe, share this video, turn on the post notification so you don't miss me anytime I come on stage as well. And I've got a couple of other sit-down videos that I drop almost every day at 10 o'clock. Okay. Thanks so much to those of you who have been, hitting on those videos. I've been seeing the views on the videos I've been, thank you so much. I really appreciate you all, because this year I must buy a Range Rover. Thank you guys. And I shall see you at some point later on. All right. Bye everyone. And good night, everybody. You're all appreciated. Bye.